Hey there, lovely souls. How are you doing out there in this crazy, chaotic, dynamic world that we are living through? How are you navigating this? And what have you got in place as self-care to keep you grounded, to keep you rooted and more embodied into yourself, that basically enables you to be like the center of the storm? Okay, so I shared back in January the word dynamic was the word that we will be experiencing this year, and we're certainly experiencing that. And dynamic sounds great, yet it can be chaotic if we're not in flow. Okay, so what we're seeing or perceiving as chaos is actually a huge shift as us individually and collectively and as humanity to release old unserving patterns, old belief systems that no longer serve us. And the deepest, darkest part of that is victim energy, which has us believe and renders us in helpless and hopeless. So we can see that as a collective towards governance and systems, that we feel like we haven't got a voice, that we're not being heard. And I will say that we create what we believe deep into our subconscious, because that's playing out and navigating our lives for about 98% of our day-to-day actions and our thoughts. So we need to really tune into what our subconscious is holding on to, what belief systems, what patterns it has that we've embodied from ourselves and our experiences, but also what we've inherited, especially through the feminine line, which links into the mitochondria, the DNA, which is the powerhouse of all of our cells. It's kind of like the control system of that links up to the pineal gland up here. So we have to be really looking into what is our subconscious patterning that's there, which we, like I say, we're not conscious of it, which we have to make time and self-care, which I've started this video from, was actually what are we doing to become more conscious? What practices are we creating to be grounded and rooted and in our bodies rather than in our heads? How we can be more in our hearts, which is 5,000 times the frequency of the mind. It has its own brain cells in there, okay? It's not just a pump, it's so more than this, okay? And then we have our gut, which is 100,000 neurons. It has its own enteric nervous system, which is attacked, shall I say, through our impure food, through all the chemicals that get put onto our food, basically. So this is damaging the microbiome of our bodies, and then disconnection to the earth. So we're feeling less and less connected to earth, which is ultimately who we are. We are beings grown from the earth, okay? So we also have our unconscious body, and this is our blood, our bones. It feeds our subconscious mind as well. So this is really deep into our inherited patterns, our generational trauma that sits here. And this is something I'm really seeing through my clinic and working people and on myself, is what we've inherited through the feminine line, okay, through the mitochondria DNA. And this is how we have become distorted from Mother Earth, through the mother, through the feminine, okay, through how trauma and abuse has created a resistance and a stress that has epigenetically changed our DNA way of expressing itself, okay? And it's like a distortion from the blueprint, the true health, the true vitality that is our body and our health, our DNA, and it's stress, environment, trauma, all these aspects that kind of spiral off into different directions. So which now, as I'm saying, really shows me brain fog, and how ADHD, which comes up stronger when we're coming through perimenopause and menopause, which is actually probably PTSD, okay? This is generational trauma that is creating these tangents of thought, and if it's linked into fear, will be heavily involved with the solar plexus, which is our regulation of fire, which is either fear, too much, or nourishment. So it can flash between the two, and we have to really work deeper into ourselves to understand ourselves on a deeper level, of why we do and why we think and what's going on there and what are the undertones. So I've done a lot of work that has taken me through shame and through guilt, the abuse and everything that's come through there. I've allowed rage to come up through as well, and because underneath that is self-love and self-worth, and it's like a fire that you need to ignite inside you to awaken you and the love that you have for yourself. That victim energy, that martyr energy, is like, I'm not worthy, I'm not equal. And it's breaking that pattern through the fire of self-love, letting that rage come up. It's igniting that fire to burn the debris that we're carrying, these belief systems and patterns, which really brings out the liver. Okay, so I'm weaving in how our bodies are a true, a reflection. They are a beautiful guide to bring us back. So as I'm talking about the fire energy, this is prominent now because we're coming into summer. We're in the summer element, which is the fire element, which is heart element, heart awakening. And you may well be experiencing this, and I certainly have, but there's a lot of heat coming up through the body. Okay, so you will feel this with hot flashes. You will feel this through in a much more personal perspective. So from the yoni, from the womb, you may feel bladder infections, bladder heat, irritability, like an itching, heat. You might be getting an inflammation of your joints more. They may be aching more than normal. If it's this rising pressure that's trying to come up, you may feel an intensity in your head and migraines because we're not quite now in it to shift and move out of ourselves, or huge mental overwhelm, burnout, literally burnout. You have literally fried yourself, okay? And that will be coming through as well. So, and for men, I would say it'll probably be a lot to do about frustration and mental overwhelm as well. I think women really experience it quite a lot in their bodies too. For men, I'm feeling it's more musculoskeletal at the moment for them as I'm talking. So for women, it's this real, the personal, the private, the breasts, the womb, the yoni, the bladder. There's all these real intricate sacred parts of ourselves that have been probably felt abused or attacked at some in some point. Then it's the fire of this that is coming up to be, first of all, to honor your worth, to embody your worth, to remember to finally hear that voice that says, I deserve better, I'm worthy of so much more. And you'll go through a huge process as that ignites. It's like once you feel that rage, you then feel the grief, you feel the sadness, and then you take what you need from it. This is the power of alchemy. This is the power that we have when we allow ourselves to process and to allow that fire, that power that turns what was lead into gold. It's this wisdom that we hold, emotional intelligence, and eventually we find that path of forgiveness. But you never get to forgiveness unless you've been really fucked off at the beginning, okay? You have to allow that to fire up, because it gives you that ability to understand your worth, but also to put the boundaries in place that you need for yourself, which may not have been there. I know they haven't for me, and it's been an interesting one for me to grow and to open my voice, to be safe in my truth, which is throat is so important, to be able to express your truth and feel safe in that. But if you haven't felt safe, it's really hard to hear and to communicate, let alone know what your truth is, which is so buried deeper down into your heart and down into your womb and your yoni. This is, we're so detached from ourselves because we haven't felt safe, and our nervous system is running more on this stress, and it's been triggered even more on this fight flight, rather than the parasympathetic, which is the calming, nurturing, healing, the libido. Okay, we our bodies will not want to have that whole sexual pleasure if it's running on high in stress. And we might not even know that's what's happening. Okay, so I wanted to share this because this is huge, and this can either tip us into victim energy mode and feeling helpless and hopeless and feeling our bodies are falling apart, or if you harness it consciously, then you can really embody this as an empowerment for yourself and know that what is happening for you, not to you. This is the narrative and the conversations and the perspective we must shift in our mindset. That's the miracle when we start to shift this. And I want to share that with just the last few days, yesterday especially, that, I've been talking about heart awakening. You think, oh yeah, that would be so beautiful. You're just like, yeah, lots of love. No, it contracts initially. It literally will go to the point for you to awaken your heart to experience all of that. It has to take you right to those points of where the shit sticks, okay, where it's holding you back, where your heart is contracted and not being able to expand. So betrayal will sit there so deep, and again so deep in our systems, into our body, that goes generations, thousands of years, okay, and that will be sitting there. And we need to enable ourselves to move that through, but not to drop into the cycle of it. So this is what was happening for me yesterday, was that it was self-sabotage. Like it was trying to pull me away from being with my family. Like it was really weird. It's like, but I got so much love, but it's like a way of hurting yourself. It's self-harming, but emotionally, and it was pulling me away. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want. I know how to break my patterns. I know when, if it's not love, joy, and peace, it's not my truth. It isn't my truth. So I have to go, what the fuck is going on here? This isn't me. This isn't what I choose. So the affirmations: I choose love, I choose joy, I choose peace. I am worthy of love, I'm worthy of joy, I'm worthy of peace. I am love, I am joy, and I'm peace. I keep repeating that, and I'm like, no, you're not sucking me down and taking me into this miserable vortex that is, I thought I'd shifted, but it's layers, it's spirals healing, it's layer upon layer. We're in the year of the snake, we're just removing those layers. But I'm diverting slightly now, but there's a beautiful eucalyptus tree near on a walk, and if you've ever witnessed and seen them, how they grow, the skin of the bark unravels itself like a beautiful spiral, and it looks so graceful. Like it has just allowed that growth to happen. And part of that is grief. Sorry, my dog's decided to get active with cleaning her bits here. So it's how it gracefully allows that growth to happen, and grief is fundamental part of growth, the ability to let go. And I feel we're having to go through this ability to let go of these old parts of ourselves, these old layers of ourselves, our old belief systems, so we can truly be here who we're meant to be. And these old patterns we let go of enables us to step into who we really are and our true power. And so yeah, it's a really interesting one, and the mind will play such tricks on you. It's quite sad, unfortunately, but we have to take ownership of our minds, and by doing that we have to be more in our bodies and more grounded, because otherwise we're just like a spinning top, just flying off in all directions. We have to ground ourselves, because that enables us to find the different perspective. It's the pattern breaker. It enables you to go at the crossroads, go, ooh, okay, do I continue to feel like this way, or do I choose love? Do I choose joy, peace, abundance? What is it that I'm choosing? This is my choice. But you can only do that when you create space and breath for yourself to go, okay, this isn't my truth. This isn't I'm not choosing this anymore. I'm choosing this. And then you create in neuroplasticity, neural pathways. If you're engaging with your heart and the higher vibration and frequencies of emotions, you're creating these neural pathways. You're creating new trains of thought, so it stops going down these old ways. So you can't stop yourself just going through those old tracks of thoughts unless you've built something new. And it's about keep repeating, showing up for yourself each time. Meditation is really powerful tool for me. Being in nature, connecting into my heart, and it's just keep grounding these new layers and routines that are of self-care, getting out on the mat and doing the yoga. It's only 20 minutes, doesn't have to be a lot, but you need to break that pattern of creating new ways of looking after yourself and grounding, so you can break these patterns of thought that will take you down. And I will leave this on like I say, these patterns of thought. It was trying to chew about like how people are doing me wrong, or not being kind, or just that like rogue, conversation your brain can just whittle on with, right? And what I went, you know what, I'm just going to send lots of love to these people, because I do love them, but they might be just playing up a bit. But it's like, you know what, I'm just going to send you love. I'm just going to send you love. And I tell you what, so much peace just came into my heart. And I started doing that to everybody. And it's just like, wow, I feel so much freer, so much lighter. And it's like you just let go of heaviness when you allow your mind just to go, just to choose love. It just frees you. Just frees you. And this really goes back to my book about love to heal. I chuckled to myself, like, well, yeah, that's what I've written about. How love heals. How love heals. When you tune into the frequency of love, 526, 520 hertz, the same frequency pretty much as gold, is it's healing. It's when we allow ourselves to be that light, we let go of these low vibrations that pull us down, that stress the body, that make our cells divert from their true pure way of blueprint of health and vitality. And yeah, and you'd think it was that simple. Well, if you're to love yourself, which sounds simple, but when you go on that journey, you start to realize all the layers where you're not connected to yourself, where you've become distorted in some way. There's little nuances of thought that can just seep in the background, like for me, not being enough. Oh, that's the one. And knowing that may well play out on a why I do something, or what happens. It lets things come in that you don't want with these low vibrational thoughts, and to know that you are enough, that I am enough, and just showing up as me, being present as me. That's ultimately my purpose for you. It's for you to show up as you, as you are, and to start really loving who you are. And so yeah, that's my message for today. And if you're needing guidance and need to know more about self-care and how to work through these belief systems, which can feel really daunting. I've been working for about 4 years now, creating content with my journey, so you will see like how my journey goes through. I've been doing different meditations of tuning into the different energies and how to work through emotions, and bringing in the meditations to that to shift and bring in neural plasticity, greater thoughts, and shifting it through the body. You will see that you will be able to begin your journey and go through this, learning to start to connect to yourself more, understand your body more, and it just takes you on this journey of self-discovery, of self-love, self-acceptance and trust, and ultimately embodying yourself and remembering that your body is a miracle. It's not a separate part of you. It's this tool that is here to take us through life, and it will show us when we're not aligned. So you have what I call the Infinity Health Hub, which you can try out for 7 days, see if it feels right for you. And there's a sound library of loads of different meditations. There's articles that it sort of works through this and explains this and weaves the science and the soul together. And to understand that we are more than flesh and bones. We're so much more than this. And the systems haven't really supported us in acknowledging this power that we are. And this isn't about powering over anybody else. This is about finding your power, your sovereignty. And when you do that, I reckon it will align with money and abundance, and why we want money, and why we're here to thrive, not just to survive. So it's all just helping us move through these patterns, and loving ourselves, loving our relationships, whatever they are, if they've passed or gone, whether they're present. And so you have the Infinity Health Hub, and you can do that on a monthly basis or slightly cheaper as an annual thing. And then you have my book, the Love to Heal book, which is a lovely thing to have by the bedside. And you don't have to spend hours reading it. You can just flick through it, see where it lands, and then it might be a nice little message to work on for you. You can thank the book like I do the oracle cards, flick through and go, oh, what do I need to know today? And it literally land possibly on exactly where you need to hear it. It might be just a couple of pages to read through. It might be just an affirmation that lands there at that time. And so again, it's not all about throwing loads of stuff at you and becoming overwhelmed with self-care either, because that can happen. And then to support that book, The Love to Heal, I have an online course which takes you on 21 days of understanding your health, your relationships, your purpose in life, and bringing in somatic movement meditation, self-awareness videos, some sort of like a little bit of home, working yourself out, self-reflection. And it's when those little, what I call wet kipper moments, when you've been slapped around the face with a fish, you suddenly go, oh my word, oh my God. You just literally have this light bulb moment of just awakening, and you just think, oh God, yes. And you just see it so much clearly, whereas you haven't before. And that's gold in itself, really. So yeah, you have the Infinity Health Hub, you have Love to Heal book, you have the Love to Heal online course that supports that, and it's a toolkit for life. Once you purchase it, it's yours for life, so you access it as and when and within your own moments. And obviously then there's me, my wonderful hands-on treatments that can help guide you through this, and with a container as well, so you feel really safe and supported through this, and that someone's got your back, and someone that can keep calling you back to who your truth is, and your pure and your love. It's really important to have somebody in your like a cheerleader. I've had coaching before, and it's really important for be able to go, oh, you've gone off in a tangent there, let's bring you back. And you think, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. So it's really important to have somebody in your corner, as it were, and someone that you can trust and just be completely open with, and know that there's no judgment. It's just literally a pure open space to share and to call out the judgments, because most of the time they're your own judgments. It's not anybody else's. Some people might reflect your judgments, but ultimately it's the judgment of self that we need to work through. Yeah, and then there's some other courses on there as well on the Infinity Health Hub. I've been doing this Rose and Goddess lineage, which is so beautiful. It's really diving into the depths of the feminine and reconnection to ourselves. And then there's the Return to Innocence, which is about soul repatriation. It's about these parts of ourselves that we feel we've lost, and start bringing them back. And to support us to go through what we're going through now is where fear and love have kind of run parallel with each other. That runs within us, within our bodies, in our bones. I've seen how it's been running within us, and how it attaches to the low vibration of shame and guilt, fear, that low. And it's about us raising that vibration, our frequency, to love, joy and peace. These higher emotions like gratitude as well, enables us to release these patterns of fear. And we're on this really tangent moment now like those crossroads I was talking about for our own inner mind, but also as the collective. It was like, where do we choose? Do we choose love, unity, and yeah, I can't even think of the word now, so it doesn't matter. So, but it's in terms of diversity, that's the word. Or do we choose division and fear and separation? So this is really where we're at, and if we want a different world of more peace, we need to find that peace in ourselves first. Because if we're constantly thinking it's something outside of us and we can't change it, then we're keeping ourselves in helpless, hopeless victim energy. Can you see where we're going? Can you see the loops with it all? And so, yes, there's plenty that we can be doing. And it's also being discerning of the intensity that is out there in the collective field right now, and to really keep our energy pure, our minds pure, our hearts just being grounded in ourselves to know what is ours, what is not, because that's going to feel like we're running through the rapids, and we have to kind of somehow create self-care that we can sit on the edge of the bank and watch the rapids, and or find our own flow, we'll find our stream, whatever we need to do. So yeah, if you want to, I'm going to drop all the different links to all what I've just mentioned, and if any of that has resonated with you, choose you. Just step in, okay, and feel into your body, feel if it feels right for you. I imagine if you've got this far in this video, I'd like to say it was, but this is always your choice, okay? That's your power, your choice. So lots of love, take care, stay grounded, take care.